Okay, so let's get started with the eyes. So I'm going to be using this e.l.f. palette for the eyes. Okay, so I can already tell you that I am having a tough time with the eyeshadow. It's really chalky, it's hard to blend out, it's really patchy, so I'd say if you're going to use these eyeshadows, definitely use a primer, and you definitely need a base because the colors really aren't that pigmented. As you just saw, I just put on like, I don't know, I kept trying to add different shadow colors hoping that something would just pop, but the colors just aren't that pigmented. I literally put like 6 or 7 colors on and it just all kind of looks like gray, purple. All right, so let's go in with the liner. So for lashes, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Dramatic Lash Kit. Now I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. Brightening Eye color, and I'm going to use this purple color here under the lash line. Wish me luck. Oh God, I hope it's not like crazy fallout. Alright, eyes are done, so let's move on to as you saw, the eyeshadow was a bit of a struggle. Chalky, it was hard to blend, but I've got some color on there. I don't even really know if you could tell. So I highly suggest that if you use the shadows, especially this palette, this is called the Brights 4L01AS. If you use this one, I definitely highly suggest using a base because the colors are not that pigmented and they're kind of chalky. So we're going to see how it wears throughout the day, but whew, that was a struggle. So oh, I'm getting a text. Sorry. Texting. All right. So I'm going to start with the Poreless Face Primer. It says it fills in fine lines and minimizes the appearance of pores. And you can see I have a big honking blemish there. It was a big zit and I popped it and I shouldn't have. So now I have this big black mark. So this will be a good test to see if this covers everything up. So let's get to it. And it feels nice and smooth. It feels nice. This is the Hydrating Under Eye Primer, and it says it primes the under eye to help prevent concealer from setting into fine lines and wearing off. Infused with vitamin C and E, shea, green tea, aloe, ginkgo biloba to nourish and condition the skin. Use a brush or your finger and apply a small amount on clean skin and pat in. So let's put this under the eye. Again, it smells like some type of medicine lotion. It's kind of weird. Alright, so foundation, I'm going to use the Flawless Finish e.l.f. foundation. It has a sunscreen of 15, which I actually like because it's always sunny in LA and I like to protect my skin. So it says, apply generously 15 minutes before sun exposure. Reapply at least every 2 hours. Aw, man. That's not going to work for me. I never reapply my liquid foundation. We'll see how this holds up. So I guess I'll check back with you in 2 hours and we'll see how it's doing. So alright, so it covered up my blemish somewhat. I'm having to go over it a couple of times. So I'm just dabbing some foundation over the blemish with my finger. It did go on matte and it did even out my skin tone, but it's not. You'd really have to take your time to build it up, especially if you have any blemishes or you're looking for full coverage. You're going to have to put a couple coats of this on. One pump's not going to do it. So luckily I only had that one huge blemish, but you know, if you've got some stuff you want to cover up, definitely going to have to use a primer and a powder. So we've got foundation on, so let's move on. So I picked up the Maximum Coverage Concealer, and this one is oil free. It says it's for light to medium skin tones with yellow undertones. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, Nicole, you went way too light. And this is in beige. But online, I ordered it online. Online, it looked so much darker. But now that I see it, I'm kind of worried. So I'm going to use this under the eye and down the bridge of my nose. Actually, I don't think I'm going to put it on the bridge of my nose, just in case it's too light. I don't want it to be like, ugh. So we'll just do under the eye. Alright, so I've got that on, and actually I like the way it looks. It blended out really nice. It's definitely full coverage, even more so full coverage than the foundation. It went on and it's thick, like you can feel that it's there. So if you don't like that, if you like more of a light feel, you may not like this, but I love a full coverage concealer. I really like this. And this was what? I think it was like $3, $3.50. So I'm going to definitely be using this. I can already tell I like it. To set that, I'm going to use the Translucent Mattifying Powder, and it says, achieve flawless skin that's smoother, redefined, and shine-free. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Eyebrow Kit. And I'm just going to use the darker shade here to contour with, because as we know, makeup is multi-purpose. You can use it for many different things. You can use blush for eyeshadow, you can use eyeshadow for blush, and you can use eyebrow gel to contour your face. So for blush, I'm going to be using the blush palette, and this one is light. I get 4 shades. So there's a pink, an orange, kind of like brown, and a light baby pink. Alright, so I've got everything on now. We used all e.l.f. products. The eyebrows are e.l.f., the eyes are e.l.f., the lashes are e.l.f., the face is e.l.f. The only thing that is not e.l.f. is the lipstick. So we are e.l.f.'d out. So we are going to see how these hold up through the day. The time is now 10:23 a.m. my friends. So you know the drill. If you've seen these videos before, I check in with you throughout the day. Probably be wearing something different. I'm going out to eat, probably go to the beach per usual for my weekend. I have some work to do online. I want to go to the thrift store because I want to do a couple more thrift store lookbooks. So 10:23, I'm going to check in with you throughout the day, and we're going to see how these hold up. So far, I know that I really like the concealer. I'm really surprised that this wasn't so light for me. It went on, it blended out great. It feels, I actually like thick concealer because I like it to conceal the stuff there. A lot of people don't like that. This is definitely thick. I think I may even really like the foundation. I'm just a little worried that it says reapply every 2 hours, because that doesn't work for me. So all right, I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, so I'm back, and the time is now 3:04 p.m. So we're officially at about 5-hour check-in. So let's see, I'm just looking in the mirror. So I see, actually, I'm really surprised that the blush has stayed on pretty well, because remember when I told you I was putting it on, it was really sheer and like I had to really pack on the color, but that is still there. Now, the foundation, I kind of understand why they say after 2 hours you should probably reapply, because it's starting to fade. It's starting to fade pretty significantly down here, like at the lower half of my face, like from here down. It's fading. Like you can see the color difference from here to here. So it's still up here where the blush is. It's just like from here down, the foundation, I don't want to say it's like totally gone, but you can start to see my blemishes are starting to poke through on both sides. So from here down, foundation is starting to dissipate. Eyeshadow, I am shocked, people. This eyeshadow is holding on. Now the eyelashes, I don't know what the hell's going on, but the eyelash is starting to come off. So I'm going to need to reapply it with that e.l.f. glue. So I don't know if that's because I'm oily, because I didn't stick it on well. I thought I took my time and stuck it on pretty well, but the eyelash is starting to peel off just at the end. So I'm going to put some more glue on. But I am really shocked with the shadow. Now, I think it has a little bit to do with the fact that I did put on my Lorac eyeshadow primer, which I actually did a review on too. I'll link that video down below. So I would suggest using a primer with these shadows just because they were so chalky. They were kind of hard to blend, but once you get them on, it hasn't moved. Like, there's no creasing or anything. Again, I think that credit has a lot to do with the primer. If you didn't use the primer, you might have some problems there. So we've talked about the blush, the foundation, the under eye concealer. It's creasing a little bit. Oh no, I was so hoping not to say that. It's just a tiny bit, but you can start to see that it's starting to settle into the lines under my eyes. So that's kind of a bummer, because remember when I first put it on, I was like, oh my god, I love this stuff. The coverage is still there. And the coverage is still there, which is great. It's just, it's starting to settle into the lines a little bit. So we're going to have to see. I'm going to check in again with you once, at least once, but maybe even twice, and we're going to see. So it's still there. The coverage is still there. It's just, it's starting to settle into the fine lines and wrinkles. And remember, I put on that under eye primer and it said that that would help mitigate that, but I don't know, folks. It's starting to shine through. So the time is now 3:09 p.m. So I'm going to check back with you in a couple hours and we'll see what's happening. Something tells me that even more of the foundation's probably going to be gone, which is not good. Okay, see you soon. All right, friends. So the time is now, can you see that? It's 9:35. So I've officially had this on for 11 hours. I am so ready to take this makeup off. So let's go over everything quickly. So foundation totally has come off the lower half of my face. Like, just from here down, it's just gone. It's just, like, you can see, oh, sorry. You can see the blemishes that have come through. Like, it's just weird because I'm so shiny up top, and then it's like from here down, it's just matte. So that foundation, I really liked it when I put it on. It just went on smooth. It was buildable somewhat. It's just not long wearing. So if you're looking for a long wearing foundation, you may not, no, I know you will not like that foundation. But if you're just looking for something, maybe if you're just going out for a short amount of time, or you're going to like a meeting or something, it is really nice. It's lightweight. And I don't know, it says you need to put it on every 2 hours. If you have the time to reapply your foundation, I just don't have time for that. So I don't know. I think I would probably suggest more the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation before I would suggest this one, just because it's just not long wearing at all. Like, my last check-in, you could already tell it was coming off. The blush has really held up. I mean, it has faded and I haven't reapplied it or anything, but I mean, considering how sheer it was, the blush did kind of hold up. So that was shocking. I actually think I'd use that blush again. Now, the concealer, that maximum coverage concealer, that stuff is nice. It's still there. The only thing is, it did like crease, like pretty significantly in my lines. So I don't know. I love it when I put it on. Maybe if I set it with a different powder, it won't crease. Because remember, I even used that under eye primer that was supposed to stop the creasing. I mean, it's not horrible creasing, but it did crease. So that's the concealer. The eyeshadow, I am so shocked. That eyeshadow is still there. Now, the only thing is it's not very pigmented. So if you use that eyeshadow, I highly, highly suggest you use a base. Like, I like to use the Jumbo Pencil by NYX in Milk, or a MAC paint pot, and it'll help the colors to be more pigmented, because as you saw in the video, I literally had to keep packing on more color because they're just not that pigmented. But once I got the color on, it has not moved. So I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I use that Lorac eye primer. So definitely, if you use the shadows, use a primer and use a base, and you'll be good to go, because the shadows and the eyeliner have lasted and they have not moved. That's pretty cool. So I like a lot of the products, especially when I first put them on. It's just the wearability throughout the day. It's just, I don't know, guys. It's just kind of dicey. Like the foundation, the concealer, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, even the lashes started to come off a little. But you know, that happens with every lash. I really do like the lashes because they are so easy to put on and they're so lightweight, but they give you that extra length and pop to your eye. So I like the lashes. It's just a little difficult to get out of the box, but they stay on. So you make your own judgment. I don't know, you can see the way I look now. The foundation I just don't have time to reapply foundation every 2 hours. So those are my final thoughts. I would say, just to sum it up, the eyeshadow, you do really have to pack it on. The colors aren't that pigmented. It's a little chalky, but I think if you use a base and a eyeshadow primer, you should be good to go. Foundation, it's not very long wearing. It really started breaking up on me like after the 3rd or 4th hour. So that's that. I loved that concealer when I first put it on, but it just started creasing. It's still there, which is good. There's still coverage, which sometimes I don't even usually have at the end of the day. So it's still covered. I just think maybe I'll try a different primer on my face instead of using that e.l.f. under eye primer, because I really, really like that concealer. I like how thick it is. I like the coverage, and I just love how it blends out. So I'm going to try that again in a future video, just with a different primer, because I love that concealer when I put it on. So those are my final thoughts. I never really just want to tell you guys a bunch of negative things about a brand or a product I try, because some things that work one way for me may work differently for you and your skin and like what you do in your life. Like today I was running around, I went to the beach, I was outside a lot, it's warm here. So all of those things have to be taken into consideration. So if I tell you something doesn't work for me, I'll tell you reasons why it may work for you or somehow work for someone else. Because I'm oily, not everybody's oily. I run around a lot, not everybody's in a climate that's warm year-round. So those are my thoughts. I'm done rambling. It is not that late. It's only 9:42, but I'm so ready to take this off. I want to take a shower. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.